So your child has been asked to play for an older team. Perhaps they've even been invited to play two matches in a weekend. What should you do? For many parents who've grown up immersed in the GAA, this is seen as something massively positive for their child's development and a rite of passage in the GAA experience. However, for many parents who haven't been on this journey before, you might be unsure what to do. We're going to take a couple of minutes to explain why this happens and what it means for your child. So let's start with why this happens. Every year, Naguel Oga has to sit down and decide how many teams to enter for the following year's competitions. Our approach is guided by one principle. How can we ensure as many kids as possible are playing as often as possible in a way which is beneficial to their development? The only way we can deliver on our values is by placing ourselves in stretch mode. If we have 15 kids for 15-a-side tournament, we enter a team. If kids want to play, we'll do everything we possibly can to let the kids play. This is an unusual approach for many clubs in Dublin. In fact, most clubs in Dublin feel that to sustain a team in a 15-a-side tournament that you need 25 to 30 players. However, why would you deny half your players the opportunity to play when you can provide them with an opportunity to play with just a little work? There is nothing unusual about our approach. In fact, this year the most successful hurling club in the country, Ballyhale Shamrocks, are fielding an under-17 team with only two players born in the relevant calendar year. How are they doing this? The remainder of the players on the team are under 16, under 15 and in some cases under 14. Ballyhale recognise that the best thing they can do for the development of their children is to let them play, and they are creating an environment to make sure this happens. When a child plays for a team of children their own age, this is known as playing at the age. When a child supplements this with playing occasionally or regularly with an older team, this is known as playing up an age. Key to Naguil Oga's ability to provide kids with as many opportunities to play as possible is children playing up an age when needed. Simply put, if we have 30 kids, we would much prefer to enter two teams. When children are missing because of holidays, we can ask other children from younger teams to play two matches. This is much better than entering one team, playing 15 children, and having 10 or 15 subs. This isn't good for anyone. Okay, but what does this mean for your children? Maybe you or your child are nervous about the prospect of them playing with older children. This is totally understandable. Here's a little more information to deepen your understanding. The benefits of playing up an age are widely recognised. In a sporting context, playing with older children helps younger children learn how to compete with players who may be physically bigger than them. It exposes children to a higher speed of competition which challenges them to develop and implement their skills in new and creative ways. This is incredibly beneficial when they return to playing with children of their own age and massively boosts confidence. In a personal context, exposing children to other children who are a year or two older is great for the development of social skills, while the friendships and community which emerge from this are one of the key drivers of young people staying in sport beyond childhood. By and large, children love being invited to play up the grades. First and foremost, it is another opportunity to play the games they love. Secondly, it is an opportunity to test themselves against older and more challenging opposition. Thirdly, playing up traditionally carries a large amount of social status. For example, most under 11 children will love telling their friends that they were playing for the under 13s at the weekend. In some cases, shyer children might be hesitant or nervous to accept an invitation to play with an older team. This is totally understandable. I was this kind of child. When I was 11, I was invited to play for the local under 14 team. I had no real dealings with older children and decided for myself that I wasn't good enough, so I turned down the invitation. A few weeks later, in the school playground, I was approached by my school teacher, Brian Cody, at the time a fledgling inter-county hurling manager who subsequently gone on to be the most successful GAA manager of all time. Mr. Cody asked me why I had turned down the invitation. He explained to me that I had been contacted for a simple reason, because everyone felt I was good enough. With his encouragement, I accepted the invitation and really enjoyed playing with the older lads and how this helped improve my game. Before any child is invited to play up a grade or two, conversation occurs between the relevant managers to make sure that everybody feels that the child in question will be able to compete with older children. These conversations are guided by the child's ability and also by GAA rules which regulate the age children need to be to play against each other. If your child is nervous, encourage them to give it a try. They will probably surprise themselves with their ability to compete. They are only being asked because their manager feels they are well able for it. One final question you may have is how much sport is too much sport? As a child, we are obviously trying to cultivate, or to ensure, as a club, we are obviously trying to ensure a lifelong love of sport. We are not interested in short-term success. A generation of children who love playing the GAA through Irish throughout their entire adult life is worth more to us than a cabinet full of trophies. This means that as a club we are hypersensitive around overloading children. So is playing two matches in a day too much? The rule of thumb sports scientists use is that a child should not be regularly playing more than an hour of organised sport per age. So this means an 8-year-old should not be playing organised sport more than 8 hours a week. For most children, playing 2 matches a day once or twice a month will be very beneficial to their development. However, to consistently play 2 or 3 matches every Saturday over a long period of time, say 5 years, is not advisable. A final word around managers. Please recognise the immense work that coaches within the club are doing to provide your children with as many opportunities to grow and develop as possible. Coaching a children's team is a really enjoyable experience. However, it can be very stressful, particularly during the summer when a lot of players are missing. From the age of 12, teams can be thrown out of competitions if they do not manage to field the team. I know some coaches in the club have been spending upwards of 5 and 6 hours a week ensuring that they have enough players to field a team for the upcoming weekend. Obviously, this is a seasonal issue which only impacts teams heavily during the summer. They are putting in this work tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that as many children as possible can play all year round. So if you get an invitation for your child to play for an older team over the next few weeks, please endeavour to facilitate this request if it suits at all. You will be helping the poor coach on the other end of the WhatsApp, you will be helping the other kids who are depending on an extra few players so they can play, and most importantly, you will be helping your own child by providing them with massive opportunities to develop as a player and as a person.